Haiti was already in need of aid because of 4 tropical storms taking place in 2008. Do you think this is true, or do you think this is false? Put your hands up for true. Put your hands up for false. This is true. They're actually true. Haiti was one of the first to end the institution of slavery. Do you think that's true? Put your hands up for false. This is true. But what you'll see in the video later is that they still have domestic slaves within their own country. As a result of the insane poverty there. Yeah, and it's a result of the poverty. So basically everything that happens to Haiti is driven by the poverty. So what we're trying to find out is why are they continuously being kept in poverty during their dancing? So in America, we normally have a dancer close to earthquake with pain and blood on a mixture on her face. It's not about earthquakes, over 500 years of colonization. Next slide. A country or area under control of another country. This is colonization. And it's typically a distant country, and it's occupied by the settlers from that country. And these are just some definitions I want to tell you before, because I mentioned them a lot. Determined by artificial prices that may or may not reflect the true nature of supply and demand. 1492, this is the beginning of our timeline. The infamous Christopher Columbus. Christopher, he arrives on the island of Hispaniola, which he names it, and that's Dominican Republic and Haiti together. He claims he founded it, but it was definitely already there, considering there were indigenous people on the island, and the Spanish held mass murder against them, which is a genocide. And they started importing African slaves because they realized that Haiti was so rich in agriculture. 1697, Haiti becomes a colony of France. 1789, Haiti is used to fuel France's revolution, and they have all these magnificent goods, sugar, coffee, cocoa, cotton, that we use every single day. All first world countries. It's a real privilege. We're all wearing cotton in this room, actually. Slaves, they revolt, and it's the beginning of the Haitian slave revolution, and bloodshed, they're led by the leaders of Son. He was captured by the French, and he later dies in a French prison. 1799, France's leader, Napoleon Bonaparte, is determined to end the slave rebellion, but because even though their leader died, Haiti, the slaves, they're not happy. That's why it was another against, and continue for years after, against these indigenous people of Haiti. They want to change. They want democracy. Bonaparte fails. Haitians defeat French forces and drive French that's so conflicting that the United Nations, which most people see as the peacekeepers of the world, are dressed in camouflage and carrying around guns. The puppet government of Gerard Lecornu is installed.
But like children her age, she can't go to school or even out to play. A year ago, after her mother died, she was bought by this woman.
The woman has 2 daughters and they go to school, but there's no money to send me to school. When I'm here, I clean dishes, I clean the house. I usually wake up at 4 in the morning and get water with a bucket. Then I sweep and I mop the house.
Nega is a restavek, a Haitian phenomenon that's similar to slavery. Nega is not allowed to speak unless spoken to. She has to serve everyone around her, and she's often punished.
They beat me. They hit me when I do something that's not right. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to cry.
A UN study estimates that there are hundreds of thousands of children in Haiti who live in slavery like Nega. The government acknowledges they exist and says it is part of the culture. In neighborhoods like this one, they can be seen everywhere.
Many of the children that are taken away from their homes in the countryside end up in places such as this one, where they end up living in worse conditions than before.
Unlike the earthquake that has focused international attention on it once again, Haiti's fate as one of the poorest countries in the hemisphere has not been inevitable. Once the richest colony in the Americas, a slave revolt against French rule in 1804 established Haiti as the world's first black republic. But under threat of invasion, the country agreed to compensate France for loss of property, a debt that took 120 years to repay and launched a cycle of debt, dependence, and instability. Fast forward almost 2 centuries. After more than 3 decades of dictatorship and military rule that plunged the country deeper into international debt, former Catholic priest Jean-Bertrand Aristide was elected president in 1990 on a wave of support from the country's poor majority. Just 9 months later, Aristide was ousted in a military coup. Death squads led by Emmanuel Toto Constant, who later claimed to be on the CIA's payroll, rampaged through the country, terrorizing Aristide's supporters. In 1994, then-President Bill Clinton and a fleet of U.S. Marines backed Aristide's return to power, but not before Aristide agreed to a program of economic adjustment monitored by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, marked by downsizing, privatization, and deregulation. Tariffs on foreign rice, for example, were slashed from 50% to 3% in weeks, and subsidized imports from the United States flooded the country, forcing many of Haiti's farmers out of business, off their farms, and into urban slums. Critics of the policies say they helped set the stage for the so-called food riots that swept the country in 2008. Aristide's second term as president was cut short when he was again ousted from power in 2004 by a coalition of business and political elites. Though support for him still runs high in Haiti's poor neighborhoods. The United States sent troops, and the United Nations authorized a peacekeeping mission to pacify the gangs, and some say the Aristide supporters, in the country's slums. But the UN mission has been controversial in Haiti, accused of killing indiscriminately and eliciting outrage and fear from the very people it is supposed to be protecting. Since the election of President René Préval in 2006, the country has continued to struggle for stability. In 2008, 4 hurricanes killed at least 800 people and caused more than $1 billion of damage. Only last year did international financial institutions and the United States finally cancel Haiti's $1.2 billion debt. And the UN has appointed Clinton its special envoy for Haiti. But as international aid begins flowing into the country once again in response to this most recent crisis, the question remains: can a former U.S. president and so much foreign aid really deal with the aftershocks of Haiti's history?